Hi, welcome to CloudStartAcademy.com. I am Tariq and I'm here to help you to learn and understand Linux. If you want to move into DevOps or cloud engineering or software engineering, Linux is not optional. This course is designed for beginners who are starting their journey from scratch and are interested in gaining job-ready knowledge. This is also works well as a refresher to brush up on the basics. Before starting this course, two important points. First, each lecture notes will be available on cloudstartacademy.com. Second, if you feel I am a bit slow, then you can just increase the video playback speed to 1.25 or 1.50. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Linux learning for beginners and professionals. This is module 1, Introduction to Linux. Here is the outline. Introduction to Linux, ways to learn Linux and WSL setup, working with shell, useful commands, Linux help, command history, tab completion, tips and confusion, common mistakes, hands-on lab. Okay, we gonna cover all these topics in this module. Introduction to Linux. What is Linux? Linux is an open source Unix-like operating system kernel created by Linus Torvalds in 1991. It is open source, which means anyone can view, modify, and share the tool. I'll let you know that you can download Linux from repository. You can just recompile it, modify it, and share with your friends or other users. Technically, Linux is just the kernel. The full system is GNU Linux. Sometimes people call it GNU or GNU, is all up to you. It is lightweight and fast, even on low resource system. If you have an older laptop or machine, Linux even work on that as well. It is stable and reliable, which is why servers can run for years without issues. I'm just going to tell you that Linux is running all over the servers. 95% most of the servers runs Linux, and it is favored because it's reliable and stable. Where Linux runs servers, 95% of cloud workloads, Android phones, Linux uses Linux kernel, embedded system, routers, smart TVs, cars, supercomputers, desktops, less than 3%, but it's growing. Okay, so I hope you understand this. Now let's do a brief comparison between Linux and Windows. Linux is cost-free, okay, except the enterprise version offered by Red Hat Linux. Windows is 100 plus license fee. It comes with minimum. I'm not talking about the servers, they will cost even higher. Source code of Linux is open source, Windows is closed source. Installation of Linux uses apt and yum for package manager. Okay, so there are defined package managers which you can use to download the softwares or packages. Windows uses exe, store, file system. Linux is case sensitive, like it distinguishes between capital I and the lowercase I. Windows is case insensitive. Path in Linux uses forward slashes, like home user then slash file.txt. In Windows, it's backslash. Okay, drives Windows uses CDE, but in Linux we have root, which is forward slash. Okay, gaming, Linux is limited, Windows is excellent. For security, Linux is less malware, permission based security. In Windows, more malware gets infected to your Windows, but their possibility or chances are higher. In customization, complete control in Windows is limited. Okay. Distributions. You heard the word distributions like Ubuntu, Linux Mint. Let's explore what they are. Think of Linux as a car engine. A company made a single car engine, but offer different models, distros as consider as a different models. Major families of Linux, like they all uses the same Linux kernel, but they are different families because they offer different software, pre-built software, customized environment. Debian comes with Ubuntu and Linux Mint. Red Hat comes with Fedora, CentOS. These are their free versions. Okay, but they also offer enterprise solution. Arch Linux comes with DIY, do-it-yourself mechanism. Like you will get a minimum system. You need to build each and everything yourself. Which distros for beginners? Okay, Ubuntu, most beginner friendly, largest community. Linux Mint, even easier than Ubuntu, Windows-like environment. Fedora, slightly more advanced, cutting-edge technologies. CentOS is stable, enterprise-oriented, good for learning server environment, but lacks desktop focus. CentOS is my favorite, but as a beginner, I recommend users to install Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Fedora when you are looking quick updates or latest updates as soon as they are available. Then you can go with Fedora. Here is the Linux architecture. We call it onion model. Okay, why onion? Because onion have multiple layers, and similarly in Linux we have multiple layers. Like first layer is hardware layer. They include the physical hardware parts like CPU, memory, disk, network cards, device drivers. These are a special program that let kernel talk to the hardware. Like if you have a printer, like how kernel know how to communicate that printer, there's a device driver. Okay, this driver allow kernel to talk to the printer. Okay, then kernel, the brain of the Linux. Okay, this is one of the complex part of the architecture. It manages hardware, memory, processes, and makes sure everything runs smoothly. Like it can also act as a traffic manager for CPU scheduling, where each and everything will go, how they gonna work all together. It's the part of the kernel. Then system calls, the doorway between programs and the kernel. This is a special kind of API uses by apps. So app used to talk or to communicate with the kernel for things like open this file, send this data. So this is another layer. Layer number 5, system libraries. Okay, ready-made code available like collection, like the graphic library, glibc, OpenSSL. That makes programming easier because these libraries are ready to reuse every time. Okay, instead of writing everything in scratch, operating system uses this library. Layer number 6, user space, everyday tools and shells. Like bash shell, system utilities. This is where user interact with the system. Finally, the application layer, layer number 7, the programs you run like Firefox, VS Code, Terminal, they sit top of everything else that have. So this is a simple definition about the architecture of Linux. First, using the cloud machines. Cloud platforms allow you to create real Linux servers on the internet. This is the closest experience to work in a real world environment where DevOps and cloud engineering environment that's going to help you, where Linux servers are managed remotely using SSH and command line. Next one is virtual machine. Using tools like VirtualBox and VMware, you can run Linux inside a virtual machine on your computer. This approach gives you a full Linux environment, okay, and is great for learning system administration basics. I will guide you later on this course about the virtual machines. Third one, Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL. As a beginners, we are going to use this way to install and configure Linux because it's more beginner friendly. It's a Windows feature that lets you run Linux distribution. WSL lets you run Linux directly on Windows system without installing a full virtual machine. It is easy to set up, lightweight, and perfect for beginners who want quick access to the Linux command line. Few notes before going to installation steps. Virtualization. You have virtualization must be enabled in your system using your BIOS UEFI. If you are running a 8th generation laptop which contains Intel Core processors or AMD Ryzen, then it will be enabled by default in your machine, right? And if it is not, then you need to go inside the system configuration and you need to enable this. It's enabled on my system, so I'm gonna show you how it will be enabled. Let the taskbar. Okay, let me just exit from my full screen and I'm going to write task manager. Okay, so just write the task manager, click on the performance over here. It will show you the CPU performance. And you can see we have virtualization enabled over here, just above the L1 cache. This is virtualization and it's enabled. Okay, if this is enabled, you and I both are good to proceed further with the installation. Okay, here are the installation steps to install WSL with Ubuntu. We are going to open PowerShell in the administrator mode. Then we will run command WSL install -- install. This will install the default Ubuntu latest distribution. We are going to set username and password after the installation, and we must restart your machine or my machine to complete virtual machine setup for WSL. This is the mandatory part. Please remember this while we will be doing the installation. I am going to just resize this screen, and here I am, and then I'm going to open PowerShell. Here it is open on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to just resize it so you guys can better see it in action. Okay, and then for good. Okay, first I'm going to write the command WSL -- version. You know, the WSL comes by default pre-installed in our Windows 10, 11 environment. You just need to check the WSL version installed in your machine. This is the latest version, 2.6.3. If you don't have this one, what you can do WSL -- update. Okay, so this is going to update. I have the most recent version of WSL, so this is not going to update. You can also check the status, WSL -- status, and it is saying that I have default version 2. Okay. You can use WSL -L to check the installed distro. Okay, so there is no Linux distribution installed right now in my machine. Okay, so, and if you want to see all the distributions available, then you can run WSL -L-O. This is O for online, and here you will receive the list of all online distros. Like the top one is Ubuntu, then Kali Linux and Debian, Arch Linux, Alma Linux, Oracle, SUSE. Many Linux versions are available. If you just want to install the Ubuntu latest version, then you can just hit WSL -- install. Okay, this is gonna install the Ubuntu in your machine. I just enter. Okay, so it's almost going to download the environment. I am going to just expand it more. You guys can see this. Okay, it's installing, and now it's asking to create a default user account. Okay, and we are going to hit enter, and it's asking to set a new password 12345 because it's my local machine. I'm not gonna write any hard password, otherwise I will forget this, and keep it simple because it's your local machine. You can do this. Okay, so password updated successfully, and it's showing the location in my environment over here. This is the inside the Ubuntu, but remember, you need to restart after this. If you are not going to restart, it's not going to work perfectly, or it's not available for you. I have already reinstalled this, and this is the second time I'm running, so I no need to restart. I can easily uninstall it. Okay, I'm gonna show you. So I just ran the command pwd, it's print working directory. ls is going to call a lot of system files, so I'm just going to Control C to just close. Cancel this command. Okay. Similarly, we can just install the Debian or another distribution. Like, what you need to do, you need to just type wsl install -d, and we know there is a distribution like the Debian over here. We just use this Debian, and it will install the Debian environment in my machine. So it's just downloading the Debian environment. Okay, so we are close to downloading. Now it's installing, and it has installed, but this time it's not offering me the username. I need to type myself, my name, Tariq over here, and I need to set up the password. Okay, same password I'm using, 12345. Okay, and here we are. With this, I can run again pwd ls command. Oh, this is gonna again list a lot of files and see what happened. Okay, you can see all the list files over here. So this is working. I'm just gonna exit this environment of Debian, and I am going to write wsl-l-v. So it will show me I have two environments running, Ubuntu and the Debian. Okay, Ubuntu I exited, so it's stop state. And so if, let's suppose, if you want to remove any distribution, then you can use wsl unregister. Okay, unregister, and just provide the name of the distribution like Debian, because we are not going to learn Debian over here. We will focus on Ubuntu. So just hit enter, and it is saying the Debian has gone. It is uninstalled. Okay, so remember these steps and try to install on your machine. Once you install, you will see Ubuntu in your environment. Like, I just type ub, and it is showing Ubuntu is available. Okay, so this is how you gonna install the WSL. What is kernel? Okay, which is the brain of your operating system. So kernel is the OS of the operating system. It's the central component that directly manages hardware resources. Responsibility: CPU scheduling, memory allocation, device drivers, file system handling. We have seen this in 7 layers. Privilege mode, like runs at the lowest level, will full control over the system. Invisible to user. Okay, so invisible to user, behind the scenes. Okay. What is shell? Shell is an interpreter interface. The shell is the program that lets you talk to the kernel in human readable command format. Responsibilities: accept commands like ls, mkdir, cp, many more, interprets them and passes them to the kernel. So shell works as an interpreter. They deliver tasks to the kernel. Okay. Features, command history, scripting, environment variables, customization, all available in the shell. User facing, it's what you see when you open a terminal. It's in simple terms, we can say kernel is the engine of a car that actually does the actual work. Shell is the steering wheel, dashboard, how you control the engine. Okay. Now let's talk about the see a picture where you can better understand you, shell, kernel, hardware, output. Okay, you have a keyboard, you type the command on the shell, I set list files. It's the place where you cannot, it will not do any auto correction. It's not gonna delete files. What you do, what you will say, it will actually do that thing only. Okay, it passes the commands in a meaningful way to the kernel. Then kernel communicate with the hardware and it generates the output. Here how it works. Common shells: bash shell, z shell, fish shell, sh, bourne shell, dash. The most common I see in my journey is the bash and the z shell. Bash is actually the born again shell. This is the distinction you need to remember. Sh is the born shell, and bash is actually the born again shell. Okay, default on most Linux distro. If you are going to use the Z shell, it's modern, it's customizable. Fish is friendly, interactive, user friendly. It's the older one, and Dash is faster, used for booting scripts and similar activities. Okay, so I hope you have a better idea. In my journey, I said I use Bash and Z shell. These are most common amongst the administrator developers, but as it said, Fish is friendly, interactive, user friendly. Okay, so go ahead and go and explore it if you want. So quick check, how we can quick check. Now we are going to perform these tasks in our environment, the Ubuntu environment. I said while we were doing the WSL installation that you need to reinstall. So if you have already reinstalled the Ubuntu, it's going to appear on the screen like that. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. This is the default environment, lacks the colorful feature. I just going to click on this drop down over here and click on the Ubuntu. This is more a better option. If you want to configure the settings, so you can just go inside the settings where you can see all the shells available, the profiles, startup profile. You can configure it with the Ubuntu, whatever you want. I'm not going to change anything, otherwise it will take time. Just start our command. So this is our the shell environment. Okay, and we are going to run these commands over here, and this will do see how they are going to perform. All right, so let's run the echo command and echo $shell. Okay, what this will do, it will gives you what shell I am using and where this shell file is located. Like it's available inside the bin directory, and under the bin there is a bash file. So this is how it's running. So this shell command, which shell I'm using, and it tells me more about which software is running or which program is running the shell. Okay, then we have echo $0, and this is very similar. Okay, $0, I think this is my mistake. $0, this will also show you bash, and this is your bash command then you are running. So it's also another way to check which shell we are using. Finally, if you are interested to see about the process, then you can write ps $P, and $$ is your current location and current shell. And you can see we are running the bash shell, the process ID of this, okay, and we are using the terminal, and this is the execution time when we started this command. Okay, so this is how we are going to tell more about which shell we are running. Next, if you are looking to check the kernel information, then you can run the kernel. Like there is a command uname. If you run uname, it is going to show you we are running Linux. Uname, if you are going to use the option -s, so it will same. Then if you want to know the node name or your computer name in terms of Windows, it's Cloud1. That's the name I kept for my machine. Then we are going to use that -r option. It is the version. This belongs to WSL, and WSL is released by Microsoft. That's why it's using the kernel release over here. Then we have -v. It's going to show you the kernel version, and this is the version of kernel that was released in 2025 that I am using. Then we have the O option is about the operating system. We are using GNU Linux, okay? GNU or GNU, whichever you want, you can say. And if you want all of this information, you can just press -A, and -A is going to show you. I am using the up and down arrow key to navigate between the command. Like up arrow is just showing me all the previous command I ran. Down arrow just take me into the back. So you can see I just ran the -A option with uname, and uname is going to show me all information like the bash, the kernel name I'm using, the node name, the version, license, version, kernel release, many more. So this is how you are going to use it. If you want to see the OS release details, then it's available inside the etc os-release, and I'm gonna type this command. Now you can see it is showing me the pretty name is Ubuntu 24.04.4 is the long-term stable release. LTS version, name is Ubuntu, ID is this, version is this. Okay, so much information about the OS release. Okay, so I hope you have a pretty good idea what we have covered in this one. Now let's proceed with other commands. Explore bash detail. If you wanna, let me just type the clear command. So I just clear the window, and now we are good on this one. So apt bash show bash. Okay, so this is going to show a complete bash information about the bash program that we are using. This is important. You need to know more about the bash, so you can just run apt show bash and it will show you the complete details of the bash shell that we are using. And if you like, this is a complete information. If you just want to check the description, so you can just go ahead and use a pipe symbol and write the grep command description, and it will show you just the description. You can see the description is this. Here we are. Prompt is like where it's written username, then is your host name, then the directory which you are using. So this is your user, then computer. Okay, now let's discuss with the prompt. And if you can see, the prompt is actually we have the username, which is the username is Tariq over here, and we have the host name, And this host name actually in my system in Ubuntu, it's the cloud01. Colon is not included. Then we have the directory. Directory is showing as the tilde symbol over here. It means I am inside my home directory. So if I'm going to run the pwd command, you can see I am inside the home Tariq. So that's why it's representing tilde character. If I'm going to move inside the etc, so you can see here I have the etc command. Okay, so I'm just going back to, I am inside the my home directory. So you have the idea, user, then the host machine, then the current directory. This is how it works in Ubuntu. Then we have the command structure. Command, like every command that you are going to write, it all have the command, option, and argument. Okay, like command will be ls, option will be -l, argument will be a directory. So this is how command represents the what, option represents how, and argument represents the target, where we are going to perform this. Most of the commands come with both options, like a single letter and a full command list, like the ls command, ls-l will just show me the list. I don't have any file. Let's move the ls-l and going to use the etc. So it will show me the etc directory list command. Then there are no dashes. It's a legacy version. When we are going to perform the compression, then we will see how it works. But as it said, most commands accept both styles. Most shell or commands accept both styles. There are some more examples. You can see ls-l /home. This will show you the home directory. So let me clear this, and ls-l -home is going to perform the home directory. Then you can remove file. Okay, then there is a search command. Then you can do intensive search in the system log. Okay, so I hope you can perform these commands and proceed. And then we have, like I said, ls-a. It will list the command, and -all. Then we have ls-la. This will list and show the hidden directories as well. You can see, if you have noticed, we don't have any files over here. These all are hidden files, which are starting with the dot symbols. Okay, so you can combine this ls-l-a as well, or you can write ls-la similarly. Both gonna work with that. First, let's see our command journey, or start our command journey with some basic commands. Pwd is the first command. Its purpose is to show you the print working directory. It's very useful if you log in a system and you just lost, you want to see where you are, so you can see that. It's also like in the command prompt in the default bash environment. This prompt is also going to show you the current directory where you are in, but it's another way, pwd command. Next is who am I, and who am I will show you my username. That is Tariq over here, and this is how it is easy if you want to identify which user is logging to this terminal. Then you can type the command ID. It's gonna show you more details about the user ID, which is 1000, and the group ID, where it is also 1000, the default behavior. My group name and my name, or my username, is both Tariq. Groups I am included, like Tariq here as well. There are some more commands and details. Okay, so just basic information. Then you can type the date command, which will offer you or give you the current date and time. This is gonna really helpful sometimes. And let's suppose you forgot about this, but date and time has other usage while you are doing the scripting. So it will be helpful. Okay, so the next command is touch command, touch, and you are just going to provide the file name, file.txt. It will create the file. You can see file.txt file. Touch can also be used to create multiple files like file1.txt, file2.txt, and so on. You can carry on this one. So we have just created two files. ls will show the total number of files we have. And the default behavior of ls is to show you just file and directories, not the hidden files, which we will look later. Next, we have cat command. And before proceeding with the cat command, let's add some content. Echo, I'm gonna use echo-e. So if I have a file and \n line 2 \n line 3, okay, and greater than symbol, then I'm going to write the name of the file, file3.txt, and ls file3 is created. Now if I'm going to use file3, you can see all lines are appearing, line 2, line 3. But I have given -e. Make sure that if I'm going to give any escape characters in this file, this is a new line character. So after line, it will create a new line. And this is all possible because I give -e over here. Okay, I hope this makes sense, but I still keep in the basics. We have just covered the cat command. Then I'm going to write the mkdir and projects directory. ls, you can see the projects directory is just created. Okay, now let's learn about the rm command, which is used to remove any files. I'm going to use rm file.txt. So if you see ls-l, you can see the file has just deleted. We have file1, file2, file3, not just the file.txt. Okay, so there is no file.txt. We have created a project directory, and this projects directory can be deleted using rmdir projects, and this will delete. I just did the ls. You can see I have removed the projects directory, but there is a catch. If I am going to create a mkdir, again, projects, and going to copy a file, file1.txt inside the projects, and you can see I just copied. So now if I'm going to projects slash, so you can see inside the project directory, there is a file1.txt. If I'm going to perform rmdir or projects, you can see it's unable to remove, failed to remove projects directory not empty. So rmdir only able to delete if the directory is empty. If there is any single file or multiple files, it will not delete the directory. So for that purposes, you can use rm-r and provide the name of the directory. Now, if you see, this directory has just removed, and it's okay. Remember, when I use the directory name, this / is optional, but it's standard and recommended. If you are not going to provide that, it's still going to work. So we have just seen this file, rmdir cp command. So you should be comfortable and easy to use on this one. Okay, finally, we have mv command. Mv command is used to rename and cut and paste to a new directory, a file. Okay, so let's first check the rename. So I am going to rename mv file1.txt to file1_1.txt. If I'm going to check ls, you can see file1 just rename to file1.txt. Okay, and I'm going to clear the, okay, now try do the mv. So for mv, I'm going to write mv file 2.txt and moving this to projects slash. So, oh, we have deleted this directory, so we cannot move to another directory. I'm going to create another directory, project or projects, and let's do the ls, and I'm going to write the command mv file 2.txt and moving inside the projects. Okay, so if you can see, file 2 has just moved inside the projects. That's why it's not visible over here. So just going to see ls projects. Now you can see file 2. All right, next one is files and directories. We need to list files and directories. Okay, so ls, you know, the default command which will list the files, but in a row format with some basic information. It's not going to provide you a detailed information like when the file was created, what the file size. And for this one, we can use ls-l is a way to list in more information. And first, you can see the rights, okay, the permissions of file, and then we have the owner of the file, user group information, file size, dates, and file full name, which is written over here. It is this dash representing it's a normal file. This D is representing that this is a directory. Now use ls-l, LA or AL, both are similar. So it will show you the hidden files as well. Like there are a couple of hidden files. You can see all the files are starting with dot notation, and this dot representing that it's in hidden file. Okay, so every directory contains this dot, single dot and double dot. This single dot representing is the current directory. This double dots are mentioning that there is a parent directory. Okay, so in each directory you will file these two, and this is my home directory. That's why you can see some bash history, bash logout, caching, many more. Okay, so we have last command LA. We can also use AL. This is very similar. You can use ls-a-l. This is also absolutely fine. We are using separately, and you can also use -h is for human readable font. So now it's like especially the size of the file, like this one 4096, it's written in 4.0K, which is a way to mention the smallest the file size in kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes. So it's more human readable. So your file is in gigabytes, so it's very hard to understand what's the size of the file is. Then you can definitely combine these all together, ALH. So this is fine. You can combine this if you want, which is more handy. Then you can use ls-t, and this is used for time modified. It's also sort by time modified. So LT is like this, the latest, newest first, or the latest first project was the created. The last one is the project, previously that, file 3. So it's all in the newest order. Which one lastly created, it will show you that file. Then there is a TR also, which I am going, the oldest one should be the first. The file 1 is 1_1 is the oldest file. So it's mentioned in the time, date and time over here that you can see. So I hope this makes sense. Now you can also sort it by size. So if I'm going to use this, I'm going to SL. So these are the sizes of the file. Okay, so the lowest size is here, then the more bigger size and the biggest over here. So this is how we deal with the ls command. This is where these are the very common options that I'm showing you, I'm guiding you over here, but there are many more. If you further dig into this, you can use the help command, which is man, or you can ls dash help, and this will give you a detailed help on this one. But simplified and the detail, all options are written. Whichever you want, you can practice that. That's how I can guide you on this one. Okay, all right, let's move the next part, which is quick navigation. To change a directory, like a Windows style, we know we can open a new window, click and click. But in Linux, you need to write the command to move or navigate into a different directory. CD is used like CD. Let's move the etc directory, which mostly contains the configuration. And if I'm going to ls over here, you can see a huge number of files listed over here. I'm going to clear this. So cd etc, right? And we can, if I'm going to read pwd, so it's confirmed that I am inside the etc directory. Okay, so what if I can do cd tilde over here? This will take me to my home directory, which is home Tariq over here. If I'm going to write pwd, I am now inside the home Tariq. Okay, and that's how I can move. If I'm going to press cd dash, a single dash, it will take me to my last directory, which was etc directory. So I am back to my etc directory, which by using this cd dash command, which is very common, very handy. Then you can also just type the cd and it will take back to your home directory. Cd and cd just, or cd tilde, they both take you to your home directory. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If I'm going to again press cd dash, I am back to etc directory, because this was my last directory. You can navigate any directory. There is a var directory, then the log, which contains the log files. So we are inside the log. Pwd is also showing that we are inside of a var log, and it's also over here in this one. And we can move any, like if there is any, if you want to move to the previous directory, then we can use cd dot dot, and we are one level up, so we are outside the log and inside the var directory. And if I'm going to dash dot dot again, remember, between cd and dot dot there is a space. Don't forget to add a space before adding dot dot. And I am at the root level. If I'm going to press ls, you can see all my root level directories. So I think we are good and on the same page of this one. Okay, so if let's move to my home directory. I'm gonna show ls over here, and so in the ls there is a projects directory. I'm going to press cd dash. I am on the root again. Okay, then what I am going to do, cd tilde slash projects. So what this command will take me to my projects directory, which is inside my home directory. I hope this makes sense and we are good on this one. So I think after this you are easily use the cd command. You should be good with the handling of cd command. Then there is another way to run multiple commands at once. So I'm going to clean this, and like if I'm going to write cd slash tmp and then ampersand, right? And then I can use another command like wget wget file.zip. Wget is just a way to load any file. Okay, so if you are going to see wget, you are going to load this file. Right now, this file is available. So if I'm going to hit this command, this is going to just enter and trying to add the http file.zip, which is safe now. But that's why we download each and everything inside the temp directory, because we don't know what's inside of this. And instead of writing this file, I can write something else, like I can write, I have a link over here. This is gnome.org licenses GPL3, and I can download anything. Any zip file, any tar file, JPEG file, you can do this. So if I'm going to run ls over here, you can see the GPL file that we downloaded, and the file .zip which downloaded the this index.html. So these are some of the how you can combine this. But remember, and every time if I'm going to show you again, this ampersand 2 times is representing only runs this part of the command if this is successful. This part is successful. If this part is not successful, like this is, if there is an error in this one, this part is not going to execute. So this is a way to handle this. Right, hopefully you make it makes sense to you. And I'm going to write mkdir. I'm creating, so inside the temp, let's move my home directory, and inside the home directory I am writing mkdir test, and now I am using the or operator, or and failed. Okay, so this part is only going to run if this is failed. If this is not failed, this will not execute. So hopefully you understand when you need to use the or operator over here. So now the folder is created, the test folder. That's why you didn't see this failed command over here. If any command will fail and after this you want to show some message, then obviously you can use this one. And you can run multiple commands, like using a semicolon as a separator, OMI, pwd, anything. So you can see all 3 commands run successfully because they are separated using the semicolon. So they all run all regardless. Okay. And there is another. So this command will first take me to the log files. Okay, so log folder I am, and then what it will do, it will sudo tail syslog. So it will showing me the system logs file. If this will fail, okay, first, if this will true, the navigation is successful, then it will run this one. Okay, if this is successful, then this will not show to me. If this is failed, then obviously this message will appear to my screen. So I'm going to hit enter. You can see it's successful. That's why read log is visible to me. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you. So I'm going to press Control C to get out of this. Okay, let's move to next part. Now, this is very crucial for working with long commands. So you can see we have just typed a single command, but what if there is a long command? I'm going to update my system. So for this, I am writing sudo apt update and going to use double ampersand, and then at the end, backward slash. Okay, or backslash. If I'm going to hit enter, so this will, due to backslash, it's allow me to write in the next line. Then I'm going to write sudo apt upgrade. So I am upgrading my system with latest repositories or yum packages. So I'm going to upgrade as well again, and then I'm going to use sudo apt auto remove. So any unused packages, I want all of them to be removed. So this is how you can use this. You can see it's working and it's updating all the packages. Great. It has fetch, it's now reading. And do you want to continue? I am going to hit enter. Yes, and it's updating my Linux with latest packages and upgrading all the older packages with the newer version if available. Okay, so we are good on this one. Now, once you've done that, before that, I should show you, but now if I'm going to install a packet, sudo apt install tree. So this is a package. If I tried this before the upgrading, is this not gonna work? But I have updated. I have new repositories, packages available. Now, if I will hit enter, this will install the new package. You can see how easy it is to install a package inside a Linux. Okay, so what's the advantage of this one? Let me get back to your home directory, and I need to run the tree. So you can see in my tree, it's show me the file structure in the tree format. Like inside the directory, there is a file 1_1.txt, file 3.txt. There's a project directory, and inside the projects, there is a file 2.txt. So just it will give you the tree structure of the directory hierarchy you have. Next, let's move the mkdir, repeat last argument. This is very useful. If you are a DevOps or cloud engineer, you will find this very handy. So I'm going to write mkdir, and inside the var folder, okay, remember add the P. Make sure that if you are making any hierarchy of directory, all the directories will be created www./html. So without the, let's suppose without the P, if I'm going to run this without the P, what will happen? Var HTML. You can see it's saying that no such directory or file is available. Okay, this var is available. Maybe www is not available. That's why it's not able to create that. So to create the complete hierarchy or the structure of the folder, all the inner folder as well. So we use this command -p, right? And this, you remember what they are. This mkdir is the command, -p is the option, and this is the argument, right? If I'm going to hit enter over here, so it's going saying that permission denied, this is fine, I need to run this as a sudo. Now the folder is created. But the good thing I'm going to show you, if you directly jump one to this directory instead of typing, like one way I should type full command like www/html, but instead of that, if I'm going to just write not and $, this will directly take me to this directory, because this symbol is saying that use the last argument, and this was our last argument. So that's why it took us to the directory directly. It's very handy, it's very useful, and you can use this. Another example, I'm going to create config.yaml file, okay, and permission denied over here. Let's use sudo again. I just did. And if I'm going to use vi, instead of writing the file name, I'm going to use vi not $. This will open this file in the vi editor. Okay, I am inside the vi editor. I'm going to press shift colon and then q, this to exit from this vi editor. Okay, so this is how we are going to use this. Finally, the final tip is, instead of writing clear, you can just press Control L and it will clean your command screen. Okay, so let's continue with our getting help, your lifeline. So it's like your lifeline to find information about commands, get the help, how useful it is in Linux. Okay, so 4 levels of help available in Linux. First, what is? Okay,
If you want to know what is a command is, what it does, basic information, a single line information. So I'm just moving to my home directory to make some space, and I'm going to write what is combined without any space, and you need to write the ls over here. So you can see it's giving me the option ls list directory contents, just a single line with some information. I'm gonna use what is cp copy files and directory, and what is apropos. Okay, so search the manual page names and description. So these are the way you can find any command information, get the help. So what is really helpful if you just know a command and just quickly want to see what this command is used for. Next is quick syntax, which is a way you need to write the command and just use dash dash help, like ls dash dash help. So it will gives you the help information, and it's short and concise. It depends which command you are using. So it's giving, like you can see, help is giving usage, ls, then option, and the file argument, whatever you want, list information about the file. You can use dash a is going to show you the all. So these are the options available in the command for the ls, and these are the size. If you think it's the overwhelming information, I told you we should use control L to clear the command. So in future I am using control L. Okay, so ls dash dash help, and if you want to see few information, just dash 5 or 10, it will show you some information like this. You can see this. Okay, so I think we are good on this one, but you can use this help with any command. cp help, you can see it gives me a lot of information, right? And let's say so you can go and check this information. The next one is our man page. Okay, so this is the way to manually see the information. This is the more detailed version of the command. So man, first you need to write the man command, then ls. This will gives you the information like man. So you can see we have the name, what it does, list directory content. Then we have synopsis. Synopsis is a way to tell how to use this command. So it's showing you ls option, then file argument, whichever you want. Then there is a description. Okay, so detailed explanation. Then options available. Like this is a very to the point information, right? But some commands you will find more detailed information where it's needed, it will show you. Then we have the examples, author, so much more information is available inside of it. Okay, you can also, to get out of this, you need to press Q. It will take you out of this man help. Then if you are looking, okay, this is the way to man is used for help regarding the man command. So man is also a command. If you need more help about it, you can use this option. Okay, so it will show you the detailed help of the man, how to use the man command. I just pressed the Q and it took me out of it. There is another way, man dash capital K, and then you can type the word that you are searching. What this command will do, it will search all the man pages, all the command, and where it will find the password, it will show you. Okay, so first it find the git config. where this password is written. If you want to find, you can just press the / and password, and you can see it contains the password word. Okay, just press the N. It will take you to the next available search where password is written. Okay, so this is how you can move in the help. Just pressing Q, and now it's saying we have learned a git, and now git config. There is a rsync command. If you want to view this, just hit enter. You can hit enter, and now you can see rsync. And inside the rsync, I'm going to press /, and again the word was password, so I'm going to type password. You can see the password information in this. Then I'm going to press Q. Then it is saying there are another command. It will take you to all commands one by one. And if you want to skip this one, press Ctrl D. It will show you next command. If you get out of this, then you can press Ctrl C. So this is how we can handle the man pages. This is just I'm scratching the surface. If you want to learn, you can explore the man command, which is in more detail. Then there is an info ls. This is the most rigorous and detailed documentation or complete documentation. You need to use the info and the command. This is how it will take you to the detail. This is in much detail. I will not recommend it until if you are not satisfied. This is the final option where you can learn in detail. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. And finally, we have apropos. And this command is fantastic. If you don't know what command will perform a functionality, but you know the idea, like I am looking for compression or compress something, so I will just do apropos compress. It will show me all the commands where this compress word is written. So you got the idea what and you can search about it what you are looking for. This is very handy if you forget any command and you quickly want to know what it will be, or just quickly want to glance, find out what the actual command is. So I hope that makes sense. Apropos chm, it will show me chm contains two commands, ch memory and ch mode. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Okay, let's start with the history command or command history. Your time machine, you can look backward what had happened. Okay, so let's move forward. By using the arrows, up arrow and a down arrow, I can see all the commands I performed, right? We are clear on this one, up arrow and down arrow. But what if I want the complete list? For this purpose, we can use the history command. Now it's showing that I have ran through 211 commands so far, and this is where we are. If I want to see the last 20 commands, so I can just press 20 and it's gonna show me last 20 commands. So history 20, then history, apropos, info, man, cp, ls. So it just showed me the last 20 command. I hope this will be helpful. By pressing the not 2 times, not, you ran the last command, which was history 20. So it's going to show me the history 20 again, or the list of a game. If you want to run any specific number of command, like I want to run this 200, which is what is CP. So what I can do, I can just press not and type the 200 over here. So it ran the command, what is CP? CP me used for copy files in directory. So you can run using this. Finally, if you want to run the last ls command, so I'm gonna use not ls. So I'm going to hit enter, and you can see it took ls help -- 10 because this one was the argument this one was also the argument, but the command actual was ls dash dash help. Okay, so I think this pretty simple, pretty easy, and you can utilize it. You're gonna enjoy this. Okay, next let's see how tab completion works. Tab completion, and it's very useful if you learn this tab completion. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, we are where we are. We are inside the home directory, which is my home directory. If I'm type cd /h, so it will just, I press the tab button and it completed the directory. And if I'm going to press tab one more time, there is only one directory, which is Tariq. That's why it's auto-complete this. And what I can do, I can just hit enter. So I am inside the home directory. I just press the ls. You can see I am inside the Tariq directory. So there's one directory. If I'm just press the cd and hit the tab button, you can see it will auto write the directory Tariq over here. This is fine. This is very useful, very handy if you are inside. Let's suppose I am inside the etc. etc, I don't know which directory I need to use. So first I press tab one time, then I press tab again. So 2 times pressing tab, it showed me all the possible directory we have. Like these are all the options I have. So in the etc directory, you can see I have xml, xdg, supercat. So many different directories are available inside the my etc directory. If I just type DEFA, it will autocomplete if you hit that tab button. Okay, so this is how it works. Now try another. If I am inside the, let's use ls, and ls is used like using the cd. We know we go inside the directory, but for files, to list the files and directories, we have ls command. And if I'm going to press ls in etc-re, so you can see it just quickly resolve the resolve command. And if I'm just pressing R and pressing tab 2 times, you can see it will show me all the files that is starting with the letter I. If I'm going to press RC, then it's not going to handle. I just press tab 2 times, so you can see it offered me all the directories of files starting with RC. Okay. So if I'm going to write sudo apt-i, and so it will autocomplete the install, and this is how is autocomplete works. And it's worked with the home environment variable as well, like dollar first, then HO, and press the tab. It will show you all the environment variable. If you want to display any environmental variable, then you know you need to use echo and home. Okay, it will show you my home directory. I can use host name. Okay, I just press the tab 2 times, host name. Remember, environment variables always work in capital. Okay, so my host name is Cloud1. All right, so I hope this is going to give you some information. Now you can easily handle the tab completion. Out some tips and confusions. So let me just expand this. Let's move forward. So first of all, everything is a file in Linux. Each device is a file, or your hard disk, your CPU information, each is stored inside a file. I think I need to show you this inside the system. So going back, like ls-l, and I am going to press def over here. So you can see now this def, when I trying to see all the hard drive, which I know started with SDA information. So SDA1, then we have RAM information, all. So everything is included in this device folder, is a part of the device. Okay, so we know ls1, ls-l dev sda. This SDA is your first hard drive. You can also check the CPU system information. I'm going to use cat for process PROC CPU info. So you can see this is my complete CPU information. If I will include the model name, which is over here, model name, this one, you can see 12th generation Core i7. Okay, so this is how it should look like. Siblings, like I have 20 threads, so it's showing over here. So you can get the complete information using the Linux, and everything in Linux is a file. Second, stop fearing the terminal. Like this command, cp static copy static.jpg and copy inside the backup folder. It's quite easy. Okay, you know we are inside the touch1.jpg, 2.jpg. Okay, and oops, I have inside the, first I need to move inside the Tariq folder. Here I am, let me run pwd, and here I am creating a backup folder, mkdir backup, and then I'm going to run touch1.jpg, 2.jpg, right? And then I can run cp static.jpg, right? Backup slash. Okay, so if I'm going to run the tree command, you can see the backup contains the JPEG folder that I just created. Don't use this forward slash that I added. This is a mistake. Okay, this will take you to the absolute path which we didn't discuss now. Okay, but this is how it works. Everything before a folder, starting a folder name, if you put the forward slash, it means root. Root is like a ls-root. So this is the root directory. It's assuming that this backup folder should be available on the root, but it is not. Then we have case sensitivity, which matters, right? In Linux, everything is a file. We learned that. So, you know, I have a couple of files, right? So I am going to delete rm static.jpg, rm static.txt, ls. Now we just have 3 folders. Keep it over here. Now I'm going to create touch file.txt. I'm going to press file.txt, but this time the first F over here is in the lowercase. So what it will do, this will create both the files. If I'm going to create touch and all the caps, so txt, these all files is created. ls, you can see file with the capital letters is available, file where just F is capital is available, file in all lowercase is available. Even if you try, okay, Fi will be capital, Le will be lower. So this will also be created. Now you can see the versions. So in Linux, case sensitivity matters. Case sensitive, right? So you need to understand this. But in Windows, you know, this doesn't matter in Windows, but Linux, what we have. Right, then hidden files, you know, each directory we discuss or confusion sometimes, all contains a hidden file. If I'm just going to press AL or LA, you can see there are a couple of hidden files available. If I'm just going to write ls-l, it will not show you the hidden files. So there is hidden files that always start with the dot symbol, okay, dot notation that you can use. Like the bash rc, this contains all the bash settings. So this file, you can, if you want to see this file, you can use cat. We are inside the home directory, so we can use dot directly. bash rc. So it will show you the complete content of the bash prompt or bash settings, which is running over here. Okay, next, some confusions, beginner's confusion. So which Linux should I install? The mistake is beginners think they can install Arch Linux, Gentoo as their first distro and get frustrated and quit learning Linux. This should not be the case. Always start with the easiest one who are beginner friendly, which is Ubuntu, Linux Mint, or CentOS. First, gain the confidence. Then you can start learning more complex distros like Arch Linux or Gentoo. Then Linux is just like Windows. Beginners think that there is an exe file that you will execute and everything will happen. Okay, that's not the case. In Windows, you need to in Linux you need to embrace the difference, embrace the change. Don't fight them. Linux apps are comes from trusted repository. Windows apps comes from different websites. So that's the biggest difference in one of the biggest differences in Windows and Linux. Well, this is the third and most common. Beginners think that I need to learn everything before starting. That's a mistake. Reading for weeks without touching Linux is a problem. You are not going to learn. You think you know, but you will forget. So start creating a virtual machine, WSL, start practicing the total. Or if I want to sum up this, you need to practice day to day. Okay, otherwise you will lose the focus and you will stuck into complexity. Just start with some beginners, small commands, and then once you become proficient, then you can move forward. Fourth, one which you know but it's a revision or confusion might be Linux versus Windows path demonstration. Windows use backslash for their paths and Linux use the forward slash. That's the biggest, one of the biggest difference. In our history, we know that Unix uses the forward slash because at that time backslash is used for escaping characters and regular expressions. So they started using forward slash and then it became the standard. And now we all use the forward slash because that's the standard now. Now let's talk about the beginner common mistake. So the first mistake is spaces in file names, right? Let me do the ls. I have created a command file over here, my important file. If you notice, like I have spaces in my file, like after the my, there's a space and then important. Then there is a space. So in that case, you need to, if you try to access this file, my important report.txt, this is not going to work because no such file is available. The file is available is with spaces and you need to enclose this either in double quotes or single quotes. There is no content inside of it. That's why it's not showing the content, but just want to show you, you either use the single quote or the double quote to make it accessible, right? The second mistake is RM is forever. Whenever you are going to use RM, remove file, remove directory, that is forever. There is no undo, no second chance, no recycle bin. So gone forever. There are some strategies which we will discuss later, but whenever you use with cautiously, okay, especially -r-f, okay. Case insensitivity shook, like you know, there's the confusion, mistake. Like in Windows, we have case sensitive insensitive directories, or in Linux we have case sensitive. Like this one, desktop with lowercase, desktop with capital D is distinguishable in Linux, but not in Windows. When man pages are overwhelmed. So we have learned about the strategies, how you can use the man pages, but try to learn more about the man pages. Just practice how you can find information inside the man page, how you can extract the useful information. I showed that. You can learn from my last information I provided, the man page. And for getting the sudo command, like if I'm going to write something or doing something, creating inside a directory, like we created var html, like let me show you ls, the var folder, then we created dev. So then in this you can see there is a html folder. So if anything I need to create inside the var directory, I need to use the sudo command. Or you are going to start any service like nginx systemctl restart nginx. Okay, so this is how you have to use the sudo command. If you are not going to use it, you don't have that level of privilege, then obviously they will show you error, or you will be working as a root user. If you are working as a root user, then definitely you don't need to use the sudo. Okay, but using the root is most dangerous one. Okay, let's start with the last part of our introduction to Linux, which is hands-on lab. Okay, I'm gonna start the hands-on lab. So continue. It is around 30 questions, right? That we are going to learn and explore, and it will be really helpful for your learning Linux journey. Okay, so let's get started. What command displays the name of currently running shell? We have practiced this, but the command is echo $0. So this will show you the currently running shell, which is bash. Okay, there is another way. What commands display the path of your current shell executable or shell default? This will also show the shell name. So we can use dollar and shell. Okay, so you and I on the same page, and you can see the command is echo shell is displayed the shell executable, which is available on bin bash, and it's our bash, which is our default shell. Third one, if you are using bash, which command shows you which version is installed? So if you are using bash, you can just use bash dash version. It will, oh, sorry, I put a semicolon. I'm gonna press this one, or here we are. I just added a colon apostrophe over here. That's why it was not working. Okay, bash version. So it shows you which version of bash installed using this command. Okay, now move to the next. Which file contains a list of all available shells on your Linux system? Okay, and how could you display that file content? Okay, simply. So there is, using the cat command, we can display the content of the file, and it's etc and shells. Remember to add s at the end. It's shells, right? So etc shells contains information about all available shells in my machine. We have a Bourne shell, Bourne again shell, bash shell, R bash. There are a couple of versions. So this is how we can check this command. Question number 5. How would you review your current prompt configuration? Okay, so the current prompt configuration, this is our current prompt, and to view this information I can use echo $ps1. Okay, so if I will run this command, it will show me the current configuration of this prompt. This is all coming using this command. It's very interesting, but we will explore this later. But simply this information from here, it is showing you the username, current username, host name, and current working directory, \w working directory, working username, host name. This is how it's working. Then this is about the color combination of the prompt and all the other stuff, current directory. These are all configured in this one. So here we are. Okay, the next one is how can you view the name of your current shell? What is the name of your current shell process, right? Using the ps command. Using the ps, we can type ps-p $, and this will show you the current shell command. We are using the bash shell, and process ID this one, terminal type this one, and the time it took to start its running is 00. All right, the next question is what command would you use to display the content of a file? Okay, to display the content of a file, let's say ls, we have some file, and we can use the cat command, right? Cat file.txt. There is no content available in the command. I can create a content like this one. Okay, latest news something, file underscore last.txt, and I can use cat file underscore last, and here we are, news, latest news. So this is the way we can view the content of a file. We move to the next question. How would you temporarily change your prompt to display the current time before each command? Oh, that's the interesting one. First of all, we know that. Let me press Control L and echo $PS1. This is the command. What we gonna do, we are going to make a temporary change. First, I am going to copy this. I am going to open the notepad. Okay. So I am going to open the notepad and I'm going to paste this one over here. And to successfully implement this, I need to export the command. So the command I will write, it will be export. Okay. And what we are going to export, PS1, and in the PS1 we will just put double quotes over here. Then we will put \, then -t, and if you want to add the working directory, then you can just add w \w. So we are going to run this command, and when we want to return to the previous one, we are going to use this one. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do that. So first I will run this ps export command. Okay, so I'm going to write export ps1. In double quotes we have \t, okay, \w, and $symbol. I'm going to run this. So you can see it's now converted to the default time in my machine. Okay, 51 past 15. And if I would like to get back to the older one, the previous, I'm going to export this again. Okay, so export ps1 equals to with the previous shell. Now I am back to this environment. Hope this gives you a good knowledge to handle this. The change I did was temporary. If you even don't change it, when you restart the terminal, it will change. If you are looking for a permanent change, then there is a file. This is called bashrc. Okay, .bashrc, and you need to change in this file. So this change will be the permanent change. Okay, you can see this part of the code over here, and you can do this if you are just going to disable this. I think this is over here, this part, and with the if information. Okay, so this one. So you can, if you know how to use the VI editor, which we will discuss later on, you can handle this, right? This is very handy. Just take a backup before doing any change. Like just comment out this or write the new command, and this is how you're gonna handle it. So this was just a tip, and I know you and I not gonna do that for now. Otherwise, it will be confusing especially for the beginners. Question number 9. What commands takes you to your home directory from anywhere? We know cd will take cd tilt will take me to the home directory. Next, what special command argument allows you to toggle back to your previous directory? If I know it's cd dash, and we did some practice like cd at c, and if I'm going to press cd dash, I will be back into my home directory. But this is how it works. How can you navigate to the etc directory immediately? Return to the previous one. We just performed this. I think we don't need to go with this. What absolute path would you use to navigate the directory containing the system log? So system log is available inside the var and log folder. And if I'm going to dash ls-l, it will show I have a syslog file over here. And if I want to see the syslog file, I can just use the cat command, and it is going to show me the content of syslog. Question number 13. What does the tilde symbol represent my home directory? Okay, always remember tilde here represents the home directory. What is the difference between absolute path and the relative path? We know absolute path always start with the slash. So if I am going to back to my home directory, cd and slash, so to move inside of this, I will be using cd projects, right? So this is the way, this is the relative path. If I would like to move I'm back again, and ls again over here. If I would like to use this, then I need to provide like go to my home directory, then this, then projects, right? So this is how you're gonna use this. Otherwise, the absolute path always start with the /. Anything etc, var, these are all located at the absolute path. Okay, so remember, absolute path always start with the /, and the relative path just directly start with the directory name. Question number 15. If you are currently in the usr directory, okay, what relative path will you use to navigate to usr, share, and doc? So let's move to /usr, which is a absolute path, and I can see there are multiple directories. So here I know share, and within the share there is a doc. So I can just use share, okay, /doc, and I will be inside of it. All right, question number 16. What command gives you one-line description of what a command does, like rm? So for this one, we can use what is rm, and it will give me a one-line description, a short description. What is the difference between output ls and ls? Now, what is ls and ls -- help? So what is ls? You know what is ls is give me one-line description. What is ls? And if I'm going to press ls -- help, it will give me a detail about the ls command. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. -- help gives you detailed usage instruction with all the options available. Question number 18. What option for ls display file size in human readable format? Okay, so Control L. I am going to cd ... cd ... ls. I think, oh, let's move to home directory. cd, I think here are a couple of files. So ls file size. Okay, so we need to provide the file size in human readable format. For this one, S and H. This will give me files information in human readable format. Okay, so H is basically file, and the sizes in human readable format as well. Okay, so you can use LAH as well, but you can see this will just include the file information as well. Okay, or human readable just is provide the file. If you just use the H, it will also work for it. Now move the next question. Once inside a man page, how you can search for the word sort? Okay, so search word sort. So I'm going inside the man ls. Okay, here I am pressing the forward slash, and inside just typing sort. Sort give me all options over here. I can navigate between these all where sort is available, and it's highlighting by pressing the N letter. N, okay, is available in -C, group directory first as well. There are many options. So pressing the Q, we should be good on this one. Question number 20. After performing a search in the man page, what key takes you to the next match? I think we just learned that it's the like we sort N by pressing the N, just take me to the next entry of sort. Okay, so we are good on this one. And 21. How do you exit a man page and return to the command prompt? By pressing the Q. Quit. Create a directory called history lab and navigate into it. What command did you use? So how we can move this? mkdir history underscore lab I can use, and then I can use cd and history lab. So instead, if you remember, I can just use not dollar, and this will take me inside the history lab, because this is means the last argument. Okay, but I am just running forward maybe. So okay, let's create three multiple files. The basic way is touch file1, okay, .txt, touch file2 .txt, or you can use multiple files by using just touch command. File3.txt, file4.txt, anything, file5.txt. Multiple files you can create instantly using the touch command. Okay, how can you make the backup of file1.txt? Name file1 backup, this one. We can use the copy command, ls this one, and I can use file1.txt, file1, okay, file1 underscore backup .txt. This is the way we can create the backup. Now file1 is the original file, this is the backup file. Okay, let's move to question number 25. Rename file2 file2 underscore rename .txt. So there is a file2 that we created, and we need to rename this. So how we can do this? Using the mv command. Mv command, I'm gonna write file2.txt, and then I'm gonna type the new name, file2 underscore renamed .txt. Here we are, and you can see file2 just renamed to file2 underscore rename .txt. Okay, I think we should be good on this one. Question number 26. Delete file3 using the rm command. Rm file3.txt, it's removed. File3 has gone. Question number 27. What does not dollar represent in the shell? We know not dollar represent the last argument that we have just seen over here when we done the mkdir history lab and just navigate inside of it quickly. Okay, if you just create the mkdir project's important data, how we navigate that directory using the cddir? We know that I'm gonna use this one. Let's do this again. mkdir control shift V. I just paste this information. Okay. Where I am. So I tried to make multiple directories and it stopped. So I should use /p over here. So it will create the chain of directory. So I have done this. Now I can use the cd not dollar, and I will go inside of it. Now my location is this, right? pwd, this inside this. And so just want to show you how this works. 29, 29 and 30 comes at once, so don't worry about it. What command shows you the last 10 commands from the history? I know history 10 will show me last history command. And what does, if I press not over here, it will just repeat the last command I did, okay, which was the history command. I hope this lesson, Introduction to Linux, it's a detailed lesson, but it gives you enough knowledge to the introduction of Linux. It's just we are just on the first chapter of Linux where we are learning Introduction to Linux, but hopefully we're gonna cover it in detail. And I want to make sure that as a beginner, when you complete this course, you are hands-on with Linux. Okay,